How we doing today? As you just saw Landon Dickerson say, I got to check on my mic as you saw in the camera. It just went red. But how we doing today? Welcome to episode 72. I'm sorry this episode's delayed. I've been busy the last few weeks dealing with some stuff. But Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Welcome to episode 72. In this episode, we're going to keep this episode brief, talk about the Super Bowl a little, talk about how the game went. No one expected it to go the way it went. I'll show my favorite two clips from the parade. I put them in one video. Has a background sound to it that I grabbed from TikTok because I posted it on TikTok. We'll get to that. But what a game that the Eagles played. We witnessed the best Eagles team of all time. The best Eagles team of all time. And it was actually cool. Super Bowl Sunday, the pregame show. We saw on TV. I spotted him and we paused it, took a picture. The dude who sits next to the left of my dad at Eagles games was literally shown on the pregame show front and center. I was like, holy shit, what's the odds of that? Then, when Jeffrey Lurie's speaking, my dad's stepbrother, who we go to the games with, literally shown on TV, dead center on the screen, him and his son, shown in the celebration. You can see confetti kind of on the screen. They're literally shown after Lurie finishes speaking at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. It was just a crazy game all around. I'm going to go over some of the stats here. Go through some of the stats. The Eagles just dominated. The Chiefs stats are almost fraudulent because they didn't play that good. It was at the end of the third quarter, it was 34-6. The game was over. The game was over at that point. The Eagles got revenge for 2 years ago in a big way. And I'm not going to talk about repeat. That's for probably next week. I'll talk about the power rankings next week. That was supposed to be this week. But I'll talk about that all next week. I'm going to go over the stats here for this game. So Patrick Mahomes with 21 of 32, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like we said, those yards and touchdowns are fraudulent. They had 42 yards in the first half. 42 yards in the first half. And he had 2 picks. We all know those 2 picks. Coop and Zach Bond. You better not let Zach Bond walk. Eagles, you better not let him walk. And also, next episode, I'll talk about the moves I think are going to happen. Maybe I'll do that later this week. I'll have an episode this weekend talking about it. But Mahomes didn't have a good game at all. His worst game of his career, probably in the rematch. Jalen Hurts in 2 Super Bowls against Mahomes has outplayed Mahomes twice. Mahomes rushing the ball was 4 carries for 25 yards. The running backs only had a combined 7 carries, with Kareem Hunt getting 3, Samaje Perine getting 1, Isaiah Pacheco getting 3. None of the running backs got over 10 yards at all, which is crazy. Kareem Hunt had 9 yards. Perine had 8. Pacheco had 7. The receivers, Xavier Worthy had the quietest 8 reception, 157-yard game, 2 touchdowns. That's the quietest I've ever seen a game for a stat line like that because they all came in garbage time. Travis Kelce, he was non-existent in this game. There's clips of him. You can tell he quit on the Chiefs at a certain point in this game. He gave up. He had 4 receptions for 39 yards. D-Hop, 2 receptions for 18 yards, 1 touchdown. The Chiefs just never got a rhythm on offense. Juju, 2 receptions for 16. Hollywood Brown, 2 for 15. They just never got in a rhythm on offense in this game. Their leading tackler in this game had 7 tackles. They actually had 2 sacks on Hurts. And Brian Cook had a pick. But that pick was just a poorly thrown ball with the guy in Hurts' face. He threw it off his back foot. But he rebounded from it. A leading tackler, 7 tackles. They did not play a great game. Kansas City at all. Then on the Eagles side, your Super Bowl champions. Kenny Pickett got in the throw pass. And he got to take the final knee for his childhood team to win a Super Bowl. But Jalen Hurts, 17 of 22, only 5 incompletions, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I already just mentioned that interception. He had 11 carries for 72 yards, 1 touchdown. If you remember the last video, I predicted him to have like 265 total yards and 3 touchdowns. He had that. I know I predicted 2 touchdowns, I believe, because I predicted Saquon to get a touchdown. No, I may have done 3. Whatever the number was, I did get close to that total yards mark because he had 273 total. Or no, he had 293 total. I'm actually over by 30. My math is off for some reason today. But yeah, Jalen Hurts balled out in this game. He's a Super Bowl champion. What a redemption arc for him after getting benched in the national championship game at Alabama. All the way to a Super Bowl MVP in one of the most dominating Super Bowl wins of all time. Saquon Barkley, 25 for 57. Saquon was bottled up in this, but if you go watch the last episode, I said I think this game's going to be similar to the Steelers game earlier this year. And it kind of was, where they focus on stopping Saquon Barkley. And it opens up the entire offense. It opens up Saquon. It opens up the receiving game. It just opens up everything else when you focus on stopping Saquon. It opens up those deep shots. Because then you're leaving players one-on-one. And they take advantage of those one-on-one battles. And the Eagles feast on it. So go ahead, stop Saquon. And that's how good this team was. You stop Saquon, it opens up everything else for this Eagles offense. Surprisingly, some of the receivers had somewhat quiet days. They did have 2 touchdowns total. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown. He had the kill shot. AJ, after read inner excellence after he scored his touchdown. 3 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. Jahan Dotson, 2 for 42, had that big catch early in the game. Saquon Barkley, 6 for 40, made an impact in the receiving game. Dallas Goedert, 2 for 27. Our leading tackler only had 3 tackles, but the Chiefs weren't on the field that much in this game. Zach Bond had an interception. Coop had the interception as well. Josh Sweat had 2.5 sacks. He could have been MVP of this game. He almost had a 3rd sack. And Milton Williams had 2 sacks, with Jordan Davis getting another sack. Will Shipley had a kick return of 25 yards. That's about average. Cooper DeJean, 27 in punt returns. Jake Elliott, 4 for 4. Most points all time by a kicker in the Super Bowl, 16 points. Jake Elliott was on point in this one. The Eagles just played almost flawless game. I tell you about the backups, and it was a flawless game by the Eagles in this one. They just dominated all around. The time of possession was 37 minutes to 23 minutes. Just pure domination. Like, the Chiefs didn't stand a chance from the jump in this game the way the Eagles were playing in it. I actually had said to someone, I'll actually bring it up now. I meant to say it last week on the episode, but I didn't put out an episode. So if you look back at 2022, all the things that went wrong in that Super Bowl for the Eagles, all the things that led to that loss, all the additions they made in the offseason for this offseason, all the changes showed up at one point or another. Like, all the differences between that 2022 team and this 24 team showed up at one point or another in the Super Bowl. In 2022, Quez Watkins had a big drop that could have put the Eagles up 10. That could have been a statement shot. He had a big drop. It would have made up for Jalen Hurts' fumble in that game. His replacement, Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson goes out, and he has a big catch that leads to a touchdown. So instead of having that drop from Quez, you get that big catch from Jahan this time around. You had TJ Edwards in 2022. I was never the biggest fan of TJ Edwards. He got paid by the Bears, but I was never the biggest fan of TJ. His replacement, Zach Baun. Zach Baun goes out, gets an interception in the Super Bowl. You replace Avonte Maddox with Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean goes and gets a pick six. You replaced Quinyon Mitchell with James Bradbury. You don't have a holding call on your DBs or whatever. What's another one? Let's think of another one. Because there is one or two more. You're not on a... Oh, yeah, the other one is... You're not on a slippery field this time. There's two... There's this one and then another one. You're not on a slippery field this time. You get 6 sacks in the Super Bowl. You go from 0 sacks on a slippery field in Arizona when your team had the most sacks in the regular season to 6 sacks when the field is not slippery, when it's a normal playing surface. Yeah. Tell me that field didn't make a difference in 2022. Say it with a straight face. You had Miles Sanders in 2022. Brought in Saquon. They focused purely on stopping Saquon. Didn't focus on anything else. It opened up your entire pass game. Miles Sanders in the 2020 in that last Super Bowl, when we had him, he didn't do anything in that Super Bowl. He had less than 10 carries. Pulling up the stats so I can see exactly what it was. Miles Sanders in that Super Bowl had 7 carries for 16 yards. Didn't even touch 20 yards. Kenny Gainwell had 7 for 21. He was your leading rusher. Having Saquon Barkley opened up so much. It opened up so much. The Chiefs focused on one person. They got beat by everyone else. Every change that you made, your offensive coordinator was good. He scored 38 points last time. Steichen was good. But defensive coordinator. You go from Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, I think, got way too much hate. You go from Jonathan Gannon now to Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio had the number 1 defense in the league this year. And they stifled the Kansas City Chiefs. And then there's one more, actually, that I just thought about in my head. I believe his name was Aaron Sipas. You had Aaron Sipas as your punter. He shanked a punt, allowing Kadarius Toney to have a big punt return to put the Chiefs on the doorstep of a touchdown in the last Super Bowl. Let me look it up. I believe it was Aaron Sipas. And you go to Braden Mann, who doesn't shank a punt, allowing the Chiefs to get good field position. He actually had a great punt and pinned the Chiefs back at one point to like the Chiefs 5-yard line, which eventually led to the Zach Baun pick. I believe it led to an Eagles getting the ball back with great field position next time they had the ball, and then the Eagles got 3 out of the drive. Looking through this real quick, Yeah, Aaron Sipas was the punter. He shanked a punt in that Super Bowl. The return game was bad. Or the punt game, the special teams was bad in that Super Bowl. Braden Mann comes in, and your punt special teams isn't bad. Every change you made, Braden Mann, Vic Fangio, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Saquon Barkley, Jahan Dotson, every change from 2022 to 2024 made an impact in one way or another for this Eagles team in this Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts completes the redemption arc. So many guys deserve it. Jordan Mailata movie is gonna be made about him one day. There's so many different guys stepped up when it mattered. This Eagles team is the best Eagles team in franchise history. It was a great game by the Eagles. The Chiefs just poor. So much for those zero sack shirts, because you gave up 6 sacks this time on 0 blitzes. That'll do it, though. I wanted to come on and give my thoughts about all that. I will talk more about, and then I'll give an NFL, my end of the year NFL power rankings. Probably this weekend, I'll try to get an episode out. If not, I'll do it like Monday or something. But that'll do it for this episode of Uncaged Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all of our platforms. It is greatly appreciated. Before we sign off, I actually want to show this and I'll talk about it. So I'm giving my sign off a little prematurely. This was one of my favorite memories from the parade. It's a lifelong memory with Dallas Goedert and Isaiah Rodgers. Like I said, there's a TikTok song in the background of it because I put it into a TikTok video. I put the 2 clips together in a TikTok video. The Isaiah Rodgers part of the clip went viral, actually, because I commented on a post he made. Because someone the day before the parade said, like, who they think the top 5 drunkest Eagles are going to be, and listed Isaiah Rodgers. And Isaiah Rodgers had reposted that saying, "Why me?" with laughing emojis. Then I commented, and I was like, this is why, with the clip of me and him having a drink together. And he reposted it saying we was lit. And that's up to like 90,000 views on Twitter, which I think is really cool. But I'll stop with the talking. Here you go. That was a cool, very cool moment. Chugging a drink with Isaiah Rodgers. Then Dallas Goedert comes up. I chugged a drink with him. At one point, I wanted to throw a drink to Cooper DeJean. I was holding it out, like I was hoping he would come take it, and I could chug a drink with him. But he put his hand out like to throw it, so I go to throw it to him. It's intercepted by Keely Ringo. And in the pic, you can see Jeffrey Lurie like staring at me because someone took a picture of Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, not of Isaiah Rodgers, of Keely Ringo and Cooper DeJean. You can see like Keely with the drink in his hand, opening it up, about to chug it. You can see Jeffrey Lurie just staring right at me with the Lombardi Trophy right above his head. It was a very fun day at the parade. I will leave you with one more video of the parade. Like I said, remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all of our platforms. It is greatly appreciated. And the Eagles are Super Bowl champions, by the way. If you didn't know, the Eagles are champions. I'll leave you with the video of Landon Dickerson from the Super Bowl parade. Have a nice day.
And Nick Sirianni. Without them, this team wouldn't have been possible. And without you guys, every fan here, every fan in Delco, Montgomery County, Chester County, across PA, Jersey, and across this country, this wouldn't have been possible. I'll tell you right now, when I got drafted here, everybody said it was impossible to play in Philly. I found out all y'all want is for us to give everything we can for this city, and y'all give it right back. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you guys. Every fucking game, every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, it doesn't matter. I don't think I played a fucking away game my entire career. I can't tell you how grateful I am for all my teammates out here. We've been through so much all this whole year. And these guys, they've done everything for everybody, man. It wasn't about just an individual. It was the whole team. We've gone through some shit, but it don't matter. We brought home that Lombardi, baby. Yeah! it means to me, and it means to every guy on this team, the city and everything, the support. I've never seen anything like it. And I can tell you right now, there's not another fan base in this country that can match what we do here. I don't even got words to describe how happy I am right now. After 22, feeling that loss, I didn't ever want to feel that shit again. It's a terrible feeling. But you know what? We don't got to feel it today, baby. Hey, I just got one last thing to say. Go fucking Birds!